Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. In today's video, we will study HTML styles, that is CSS. What is CSS? That is CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. This is the short form of Cascading Style Sheets. CSS saves a lot of work. It can control the layout of multiple web pages all at once. It means that at once in a little while in a single take form in a single element in a single CSS element. CSS can save a lot of work and a lot of time because we can give a single tag and that will be distributed among the all the document and we can get this type of styles in CSS. CSS, that is cascading style sheets, is used to format the layout of a web page. With CSS, you can control the color, font, the size of text, the spacing between elements, how elements are positioned, and laid out, where what background images or background are can be used. And the word cascading means that a style applied to a parent element will also apply to all children elements within the parent. So if you set the color of the body text to blue, all headings, paragraphs and other text elements within the body will also get the same color unless you specify something else. It is like that when some features are found in the parents, that features will also be found in the offsprings. This is a biological nature. So here in this CSS, we also get the parental attributes, the parental features, and the offerings too. Yani the children will also have the same properties as their fathers or forefathers have, as their parents have. If we set a color of a thing, that will be distributed among all the children. And CSS can be used in three ways, that is inline and internal and external. These are the three most common ways to add CSS to keep the styles and external CSS files. However, in this tutorial we will use inline and internal CSS because this is easier to demonstrate and easier for you to try yourself. Although we will give a little touch to external CSS also, that can be used by using a property that is called link. Now we will study that means inline means that by using the style attribute inside HTML elements, and the internal means using a style element in the head section, and external using a link element to the link and external CSS file. So an inline CSS is used to apply a unique style to a single HTML element. An inline CSS uses the style attribute of an HTML element or HTML page. We will use the attribute style in inline CSS, and the inline CSS h1 can be used here, that is we will use the style attribute inside h1 and inside p. H1 stands for heading 1 and p stands for a paragraph. So these are the two elements where we will use the style attribute. This is the coding, that this is an example of coding that can be used in h1 and paragraph and h1, and after that the style comes and style will be set to color, and the color here that is blue and a blue heading, and h1 close there here a blue heading which is a black text. This will have a blue color and the paragraph we have used the P sign for paragraph, that's the style attribute, color is red, a red paragraph, and P close. So the paragraph will be red. And what is the text in paragraph? The text is a red paragraph. Look, a red paragraph is in black text. So the result will be like this: a blue heading, a red paragraph. This is the result of that coding. And internal CSS is used to define a style for a single HTML page. Means the single HTML page can be defined by this internal CSS. And here the head section of an HTML page within a style element. It means that we will put the style attribute within the head element of HTML. The following example sets the text color of all the H1 elements on that page to blue and the text color of all the P elements to red. And in addition, the page will be displayed with a powder blue background color. The color of the whole page will be powder blue. Powder blue is a type of blue color, while all the paragraphs on that single page will be red, and all the heads on that page will be blue. And this is the coding for using this type of or for getting this type of results. Look at the starting HTML and then come to the H1 and paragraph, that is P. H1, that is heading 1, and P, that is paragraph. Where have we put H1 and P? So look at the coding system that this comes under the star, that this comes under the head, and in head we give the attribute of style. When we give all this, so we get this type of page. Now an external CSS or external style sheet is used to define the style for many HTML pages. And to use an external style sheet, add a link to it in the head section of each HTML page. Each HTML page, not a single HTML page. That is, we have to use this property inside the head element of HTML, but that will be used in each HTML page and in every section of head. So this is a type of coding for getting this type of result. And here you can see that after head tag there is a attribute that is called link, and link is rel in the relationship, and after that style sheet, and after that href, which means a link, and the link is equal to styles.css. That is, the browser will go to the styles.css and will get this type of result. The external style sheet can be written in any text editor. The file must not contain any HTML code and must be saved with .css code. Now let's come to the CSS color, fonts and sizes. So we will have this type of code, and the browser, and the properties are font family, font size, and the color. So the coding will be like this. Look at the H1, and after H1 color is blue, font family is Verdana, and font size is 300%. After that we set the properties for paragraph, and after setting the properties we have set heading and paragraph, and we will get this type of result. Now come to the CSS border property, which defines border around an HTML document. You can HTML text, and this is an example of border coding. So look at the line number 5, or and here we will get this type of result after applying the coding as you have seen earlier. Now the padding property defines a padding, that is space between the text and the border, space between the text and the border, and we will give this type of coding, that is border is 2 px solid for blue and padding is equal to 30 px. So this is the proper coding in HTML page, that is, and after applying this code we will give this type of result. This is a paragraph and we see that the margins are blue. You can see the margins are blue. Now we come to the CSS margin. The margin property defines a margin here, space outside the border, and this is the example coding for the border margins, and this is the full coding for the border margin in an HTML coding. So after applying this coding you will get this type of result, that is there is a lot of space between the two paragraphs. Between all these paragraphs there is a lot of space. And external CSS, that is external style sheets, can be referenced with a full URL or with the path relative to the current web page, and this is the type of coding that you can use in your coding. This is the full coding, and after applying this coding you will get this type of result. And example is for a link, that is link rel style sheet and href and html styles.css. So the browser will display the result, this type of results. This is another example for style sheet. There are 2 or 3 examples for defining style sheets, and after doing all this you can have this type of summary in this chapter. Inshallah, I will meet you in another video, and at this time I want to end this video.